Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard. For Spike, Do the Right Thing, Cohen, I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom. I promise Spike will be here very shortly. But first and foremost, let me thank Low Tide Kava Bar for the kava that I drink on pretty much every episode. Thank you to Justin as well, who is just a wonderful human being, for giving me this kava. Bula. Let me turn Spike up too. Man, we are.
Yeah, that would help.
That would help. We are just a mess today.
We are gaff-tastic today. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Hey, everybody.
I know.
I would like to thank Kroger for my purified water, Bulavanaka.
Yeah, so episode 76, but episode 101.
It's actually 101 episodes.
101 episodes of Muddied Waters Media for all of our friends and family and enemies to enjoy.
That's good. We have a growing number of enemies, which is
getting larger.
Comforting. That's when you know you're being successful, is when you have people that actually hate you and think about it often.
Yeah, and if somebody's going to complain about us, I actually kind of like it.
I'm very happy when people are upset by our posts.
So
that means because they're the ones that are most likely to share it, so they can say, "Hey, look at this garbage."
Yeah,
their friends see it.
Which, oddly enough, this past weekend we got a lot of.
And it was one of our best weeks from a engagement standpoint.
I know.
You got negativity. Hey, look, we have a guy who, shit posted his way to the presidency. So at this point, I think the adage that there is no such thing as bad publicity has been proven time and again, and I'm fine with embracing that. And having, I'm fine if 3/4 of our viewers actively hate us and are wishing for our failure because they're still watching.
Right.
So I'm good with that.
No, totally. 100% okay with it. We really need to get a production assistant in here, though.
Yep.
Just so,
named Steven.
Named Steven. It's even if his name's not Steven, that's what his name's gonna be, Steven.
He'll be Steven regardless, right? We need a Steven.
Our production assistant from forever will be Steven, no matter what.
Even if it's a girl. You're Steven and a man now.
Right. Yeah, you're Steven. Steven, you forgot to hit record on Audacity, so you better be taking extensive notes.
And he's going to be fired often, but still expected to come back the next day.
Exactly. Yeah. But still, I love Steven. Steven, good worker, that's Steven. Hardest worker in this office.
He's invaluable. Great guy, Steven.
Yeah, great guy, Steven. Obviously, we made a lot of promises for this weekend, and I didn't follow through on pretty much any of mine.
You mean to each other?
Well, to our listening public, mainly.
Were we supposed to do something for our listening public this week?
I mean, we said we had stuff going on. But I was supposed to get the cyst removed, and it was supposed to be a big thing. And
That was supposed to be a big thing. That didn't happen.
Yeah, but then I went to go get it removed, and it's not a cyst. It's a different word. It's a much worse word.
It's a growth.
It's a growth of
It's an interesting way of saying a growth.
Right. It's the most terrifying way you can say a growth. So now I have to wait another week to get a tumor taken off of my forehead, which is just so cool.
Always fun.
Mm-hmm. Good times there.
Good.
The exceptionally hot dermatologist that I went to get my cyst taken off, though, very sweet. She was very, very kind about the whole "you have a tumor" bit. She was very gentle in the way that she was telling me.
Did she whisper that you had a tumor?
No, she didn't. She didn't. She was like, "Oh, you have lipoma," and I was like, "I don't know what that is." And she goes, "Okay, well, don't freak out, but it's a tumor, but it's okay." And I was like,
Well, that's nice. That's a nice way to do it.
So years ago, I went to the doctor. It was right after I quit drinking. So, you get weird health problems when you go sober because your body's like, what is happening to me? And,
right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm really tired a lot. I don't have a lot of energy. I'm losing a ton of weight. And that doctor, she was from Georgia, not the state, the country.
Oh, wow. Good.
She dead on looked at me and went, oh, you have HIV.
No testing.
No testing. Yet. Just, you have HIV.
I can just look at you and tell.
Yeah. I was like, is that a fact? I'm going to need some blood drawn before I'm going to start telling people that one.
Before I start on antiretrovirals. That's an interesting theory you got there, Doc. I think we need to back that up.
Yeah, she just dropped that on me like it was, oh yeah, no, that's what it is. I seen it. You have it. And I went, well, then I'm going to need you to fucking kill me.
Right. Yeah, leave it to the Eastern Bloc residents to give you a good. I was on a flight one time, and I was nervous. I hadn't been on a plane in a few years, and I was just nervous. And one of the flight attendants was Russian, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I'm just nervous about the flight. We were already in the air, and I'm like, I'm just worried, that one of the doors is going to open, or something's going to happen." And she, if anything, if there were any, how did she word it? Basically, if any integrity, if the integrity was compromised on this plane right now, we'd all be dead instantly. We wouldn't even know it. I was like, "Oh, good.
Oh, good.
All right. Well, that's a strange kind of comfort. Thank you."
I'm actually
whatever her name was, Para.
I'm actually much more soothed now than I was beforehand.
Yeah, like I just embrace the cold touch of death, I guess. So she was like, "Yeah, the vacuum. The vacuum suck would kill us all and crush us into nothingness." Like, oh, good.
Good.
Right, well, that's nice to know.
That's excellent.
Yeah, I'll have the ginger ale. So
can I get that with no ice because the ice takes up way too much room in this 4-ounce cup that you give me.
Right. Yeah. Just straight up ginger ale.
Right.
So good. So
yeah.
So this is our first time that we will be testing our call-in system, though.
This is the first time we will be testing our call-in system. So I'm really hoping that I got all of this set up correctly. Yesterday I had it all working.
It worked.
Yeah, it was all working yesterday, but then I fell asleep and everything changed this morning. Yeah, because apparently gremlins come in at night. But if you're watching us live, you can call in. And I just put the phone number up at the top of the screen. If you aren't looking at it, but you're listening to us, I mean, we're obviously on live. 813-644-2722. Nope, 2722.
Nope.
Let me try that again.
Yeah.
813-644-2722. Call in at any point, and just kind of, we'll talk about whatever you want. We really don't care. That's what we do. Also,
I'm good. We just talked about HIV, so anything moving forward, we're really going uphill. I don't really care what we talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So you are actually in North Carolina right now. I'm in a state of emergency, and
yeah, we're both. This is the 101st episode and our first emergency episode.
It is our first
of the muddied waters of fright and terror.
Right.
How appropriate our first October episode. Yeah, I'm out of town for a medical thing, which is why I'm not doing my show tomorrow and why I'm coming to you from what I hope is a pretty steady hand holding this camera for the next hour.
I mean, it's, for being handheld, it's not bad.
That's what listen, this is being held. I have MS and I'm holding a phone as still as I can. So, right. We do what we can here.
And, and we appreciate you for it. So
thank you. The shaky waters of freedom.
The shaky waters. Hey, look, we have our very first phone call.
Hey, we're getting a call.
We are getting a phone call. Welcome to the Muddied Waters of Freedom.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Is this Brian?
Yes, it is. It is Brian Wolf.
Brian Wolf is on the line.
Hey, Brian, how are you doing?
Hi.
Can you hear Spike as well?
No, I can't. I can just hear you, Matt.
Oh, well.
You kind of sound like you're speaking in a tin can also.
Oh, well, we really should have tested this out a little bit more before we decided to go live with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You can't
Tell
hear
Brian
Spike.
Wolf I said hi.
Well, Spike says hello.
Well, hello, Spike.
That's weird since you can hear him. All right. So, yeah. So, Brian, thank you for being one of our greatest fans, listeners, followers.
Yeah,
viewers.
really.
Yeah, you have been here, I think, since week 1.
Yeah, day one, week one.
Day 1, week 1. You have listened to all 101 episodes that we have put out. That is,
I have, and it's a little embarrassing when you say it that way now.
I haven't even done that.
Right?
I'd say I've done about 2/3 of them.
Yeah. Man, 2/3. That's. I don't even know if I've listened to 2/3 of these episodes. I mean, I've spoken on 2/3 of them. So, Brian, any topic you want, man? What do you want to know?
Well, shoot. I was expecting to hear from both of you at the same time, so it feels weird now. Okay. I guess now I cussed on air. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So we were talking about before, the Purge movies.
Oh, yes, the Purge movies.
Yes, so we were discussing the whole classist versus racist thing.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you guys feel about that. I would like your opinion.
So the Purge movies, classism versus racism. Spike, have you seen the Purge movies?
I saw part of one of them, but I understand the concept of it, that they have one day a year where, there's no laws and you can do anything you want.
I'm going to have to see if I can watch you guys on another device while speaking.
Right, no, I get that. Okay, so yeah, obviously the Purge movies are, you have one day out of the year where you can do anything you want, including murder. It just can't be a government official Series 3 or higher or something like that. Except for
10, yeah.
Series 10, yeah, okay. Except for in Purge 3, where they get rid of that because they're trying to off a government official. That's not really a spoiler. It's kind of the whole plot line.
Yep.
So, classism versus racism. Classism and racism are not the same things. A lot of people think that they are.
Right.
But the reason that they are is because of different economic rules and laws that have been put into place that tend to keep minorities down, such as minimum wage laws. It keeps them at the lower levels. So when you talk about classism, a lot of people confuse it for racism because of these laws that have been keeping minorities down to the lower classes.
Right. There's a lot of interlapping between the two.
Right.
Right.
So the Purge movies, one, I love them. They are a great way to just escape all sorts of reality and just not think about anything. Also, if you go on so I watched the Purge 2, whatever that one was called, and then Purge 3 election year, in the same day in about a 6-hour period. I have never wanted to commit crime more than that day. So don't do it. Don't ever do that. Like, you get all sorts of jacked up to go out there and just start doing things that are not legal.
Murder and mayhem.
Yeah, murder and mayhem and robbery and everything that libertarians don't believe in. But I was ready that day. I was like, yes.
I mean, it's kind of libertarian. I mean, lack of government for a day,
Okay, so yeah, lack of government for a day, except we believe in personal property rights and the rights of the individual and not murdering and raping.
Yeah, but you get to defend your own rights. I mean, that's, this is the one opportunity you really get. So, you get to prove it works.
It's kind of peak Ancapistan.
It is kind of peak Ancapistan. I can't argue against that.
Yeah.
But
that's not how it should play out. but it sort of is a form of Ancapistan.
Right.
Oh wow! Okay, so I can't watch and listen because
I was gonna say we're gonna get the I was gonna say we're gonna get the feedback.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the feedback from you.
Nope. Okay.
Unless you put the headphones in, but so yeah, it is kind of peak Ancapistan, but at the same time, since libertarians typically believe, I think all libertarians pretty much across the board, if all the libertarians agree on one thing, it's we shouldn't murder people at random.
Like actual libertarians.
Like actual, right. I feel as though that's one thing that pretty much every libertarian can agree on. Also, no, not all libertarians believe in private property.
Yeah.
So
there are a couple that are okay with random wanton murder as well. So it's we're a mixed bag, the libertarians.
Yeah,
we're a mixed bag.
Not a lot going. They don't have a real centralized idea of what libertarianism is. Except we all hate government. That's all we really know.
Right. That part we are all on. It's just whether we would.
I feel like I'm interrupting too because I can't hear Spike. So I'm like trying to imagine when the pauses are.
Yeah, so for the next time that we're going to do a live call-in show, we're definitely going to...
We are definitely going to make sure that this works for...
Yeah, we're definitely going to have
like an audio cue?
Right. I'm going to have to figure out... Wait, you know what? I bet I know how to fix this real quick. Maybe. I don't actually know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try this.
What's weird is that you can still hear me.
Me?
Oh, I hear you.
I fixed it.
Do you hear me?
I fixed it.
Yes, I do.
See, Steven...
Brian, how are you doing?
Steven messed up.
Hey, good. How you doing, Spike?
He didn't...
I'm doing great. I'm so glad for you to hear me, because I heard you perfectly, and now you can hear me.
Steven didn't put the line in to...
That damn Steven.
Sick
of him.
Oh, man.
That damn Steven had
it. Me off.
I know. Steven was...
He's a jackass. He's a hard worker, but he's also a jackass.
He is a jackass.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, okay, great. Now we've got that figured out.
Perfect. And Capistan.
And Capistan.
Got it.
So, yeah, the Purge movies, I recommend them. I need to still watch the first Purge, not the first Purge movie, but the first Purge.
Oh, man. Yeah, I had that whole conversation today trying to describe the last movie while calling it the first Purge.
Right.
And that was kind of a goat rope, yeah. So I wish they would change the name.
Yeah, so the fourth Purge movie is the story of the first Purge of all time. And so they called it the first Purge, which makes no sense because it's the fourth movie.
So it's like Star Wars Episode 1, which is actually...
Episode 4.
20-some-odd years after the last,
Yeah, exactly. It feels that way, yes. But in reverse.
Wait, how many calls can we get?
I don't know.
Oh, I hear somebody else calling. Do we have like a weird group chat?
I don't know how to... I said I couldn't answer another call while...
This is going to become the Muddy Waters teen chat line.
I don't. Don't call us for depression issues; you'll get worse.
Oh God.
So yeah, the Purge movies were like I loved them. I thought they were fantastic. Personally, anyway, they just get better. But
I was going to say they tie directly into the TV show.
Okay.
So it's they set themselves up for that.
But yeah, it is like they've set up a system of classism, which they've also said is a system of racism, which those can be considered kind of the same thing because of the economic stipulations that have been put forth by the American government by putting in these regulations on businesses that end up keeping low-skilled workers from being able to excel in the workplace. Right. So, yes, it is a system of classism, and they go after, like, the rich people go out and they just murder all the poor people. Also, not a spoiler for anybody who's watched Rick and Morty and any other movie that might be anything like this.
Right.
But the rich people just kind of go out. They're protected because they've got the security and they've got everything else. But they have they've got the poor people are trying to fend for themselves. The ones that aren't trying to be in the purge, who aren't trying to like take part of the purge.
I mean, I hate to say it, but from the movies, it made it seem like 90%, of the so-called poor people, were the ones, actively participating.
Yeah. Okay. Well, not in the first one though.
Well, in the first one, they only showed literally like two houses. So I mean, it wasn't a very, wasn't a very fair demographic.
That's true. I mean, they only showed the one.
It was a small sample group, and so. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was 10 people, so
I think that's the one I saw part of because they didn't really get into any kind of like. I only saw a little bit of it, but it seemed more like what that specific group of people was trying to fend off from their house or whatever. Right. So yeah.
Was that?
I think that was the first one.
Yeah, the Ethan Hawke one.
That was, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It had Ethan Hawke in it. Yeah, so that was episode 1. Yeah.
That guy's a great actor, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, fantastic. If for any reason you just want to sit down and just this is going to be the weirdest thing I've ever said on the air. If either of you guys want to sit down and have just like a really good cry. He is in this movie called One Last Thing.
Don't say Gattaca. Okay.
No, not Gattaca. God, no.
Okay. All right.
He's in this movie called One Last Thing, and I started watching this movie hungover as crap one Sunday morning. I'd gone out Saturday night, and I was just blitzed. And I'm so hungover, and it was when Netflix first started doing streaming. And this was a movie that they had on there. And I was looking for something completely mindless and brainless and just like that I knew I wasn't going to care about. So I turn on this movie because the description is young teenage kid dying of brain cancer uses his last wish from essentially the Make-A-Wish Foundation to sleep with supermodel. And then his other 2 teenage friends help him on his quest to make this wish come true. Sounds like a, just like
comedy.
It sounds like a campy romp.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like
yeah, like an American Pie kind of thing.
Yeah, very Ferris Bueller, honestly.
15 minutes in, Ethan Hawke has a cameo, and if you don't start crying at that moment, which nobody has passed this test that I've ever seen, if you don't start crying at that moment, you're not stopping until the very end. Like the entire rest of that movie, I was lying in bed, like just eyes. Swollen.
Like one long old Yeller scene.
Yeah, it was awful. And then I've won so many bets because, like, I've watched that movie so many times because people are like, "Oh, I don't cry at movies." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck you, watch this one." And every time I'm right.
How does that compare to the end scene of Marley and Me?
I have never seen Marley and Me because I don't.
Oh, that's a good book.
That one.
Yeah, I hear that. I've heard that, and I'm a little.
That one makes you cry hard.
Yeah, I'm afraid to watch that one. I'm afraid to watch.
Don't read or watch that in public. Yeah, that's a private movie.
Yeah, I cried so hard, and then I called my parents and told them I loved them, and I called my mother-in-law and told her I loved her, and I woke my wife up and confused her thoroughly. I hugged my dog for a very long time. I pretty much like dragged my dog into bed and used him as a teddy bear that night. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't watch this Ethan Hawke movie.
No. But man, that Ethan Hawke scene.
This is a total tangent, and I'm sorry, but I just realized they didn't kill any animals in the Purge movies.
No,
like
not
out
one.
Of everything horrible that was going on, they're like, you know what? Let's leave the cats and dogs alone. That's too much. That's too far. Nobody will watch it.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to watch that.
So, Brian, you've been listening to us since season 1, episode 1, which I don't think had a title. Yeah. I think it was called season 1, episode 1. So you know about the former co-host's love of a certain pop star.
Oh yeah, Taylor Swift. Yep.
Yeah, exactly, Taylor Swift. So what did you think about what Taylor Swift did this week?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pay attention. So I guess I should have like pre-gamed this with
No, you're fine.
some
You're
news
fine.
watching.
No, that's
No,
fine.
we
That's
just
fine.
have to
So
put
we
our
can-
show in here at some point.
Yeah. So we can tell you because it's not all that there's not all that much pregame you have to do.
Right.
Basically, Taylor Swift put out a statement.
Okay,
that,
first of all, she historically has stayed out of politics.
Yes, right. Yeah, she's been apolitical, and the left, particularly the left, has been outraged that she won't, state her opinion, and lots of talk about,
Right.
the white silence and all this stuff. So anyway, Taylor Swift, and also she has, because she's a pretty white woman, she has a huge following on the right. I'm in some odd sites, odd Facebook groups, and there are a lot of alt-right people that have fetishized her and made her into their spokesmodel, which she has never assented to. But anyway, so she put out a statement. She's from Tennessee, and she put out a statement that she is against that. Even though she normally votes for women, she can't vote for Marsha Blackburn in the Senate race, gubernatorial race. Yeah, I whichever it is, Senate or governor race, and that she's voting for whatever the guy's name is that is a Democrat, and that she's voting across the board Democrat this time. And then she starts talking about women's rights and LGBT rights and minority rights, and she goes on a whole thing. Basically, gives the standard issue left center.
I'm speaking to I'm speaking to the demographic of the people I want to buy my next album.
Right. Yeah, because she's trying to.
Does her opinion matter to like anybody?
It does to Muhammad.
Yeah, it does to Muhammad. He's not taking it well.
Yeah, he is not taking this well at all. I would assume.
Well, he's taking it worse because I made some pretty rough memes about her.
I think
and have shared them on his timeline.
I am pretty certain that everybody on Facebook has been sharing them on his timeline. That's all I see right now.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So good old Taylor Swift coming out of the closet as a Democrat.
As a standard issue, virtue signaling Democrat.
That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, if she just waits, like, I don't know, call it 6 months, and then she can be like, oh, I'm going to vote for somebody else, and then bring it on back.
It really, which she could very well be doing, Brian. This could be a total, she's going to play both sides of the field and try to increase her fan base or something. That's a good point. She may say, well, part of rights is protecting us from immigrants, and then, explain why she's voting for whatever Republican.
She's going to say, only women should build the wall. Get everybody involved. Minorities should build
women LGBT wall.
Right.
Specifically, yeah. Rainbow wall. Build a rainbow wall.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I actually am waiting for someone to call for, because there's a lot of LGBT people in the alt-right, surprisingly, and build the rainbow wall. I can see that happening.
I could definitely see that happening.
And how could you be against it unless you're against?
Wall. Great.
All right. Well, Brian, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you, Brian.
Sorry if I dead aired you a little bit.
Oh no, you're fine.
No,
man.
No. That was great. Thank you so much for calling in. Anytime, please.
Jason Romano wants to know if you spooned with your dog after Marley and me.
Like hard, yeah. I was the big spoon, and he wasn't he tried to leave a couple times, because he likes cuddling, but then he gets hot and he wants to go off and do his own thing.
Right.
And I'm like, no, you're staying here. And he made peace with it. He made peace. He understood that I needed him in that time.
Right.
And this is a pit bull, by the way, 75-pound pit bull that I'm basically I've got him in some kind of MMA move, and I'm like, no, I need you here. Daddy loves you.
Right.
And
I hear with pit bulls, that's what you want to do, is really restrict them.
Really, just force them into a situation they don't like. Yeah, that's really
that's what you're aiming for.
That's recommended.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it was a rough night for both of us.
Right. So what else happened this week? So obviously we finally get to stop talking about Kavanaugh.
The end of Kavanaugeddon is nigh.
Yeah, it's finally done. And,
it's finally over.
And I just want to take a minute because I have found that since roughly 2016-ish, I'll say 2017. Okay. Since roughly 2017, I have been forced to defend people that I don't like. And because I'm defending them, it does not mean that I support them.
Yeah.
It just means that, one, you need to get your facts right, and I'm going to tell you what the real ones are. Or I am going to make fun of you for protesting something that is obviously idiotic and fake and not real. It doesn't mean that I want somebody that's terrible on the Fourth Amendment on the Supreme Court. It does not mean that I support that person. It just means that I find all of the pageantry surrounding it really funny.
Right, yeah. I mean, if obviously going to an extreme, if, I don't know, I don't want to use Hitler. Everyone always uses Hitler.
Everyone uses Hitler.
And I'm not going to be that guy. If Pol Pot was running for office, God rest his soul, if he was running for office, and I said, hey, I don't like Pol Pot. The guy he's done genocide, and he's a terrible person, and he did all the terrible things in the Khmer Rouge. I don't want him in the city council. And someone said, yeah, and he rapes puppies. I saw it. I saw him rape puppies.
I saw him rape a puppy.
All
right.
And I'm like, well, did anyone else say? No. Well, here's a list of 20 other people that saw him rape the puppy. And they're all like, we don't know who this person is. And we didn't see him rape the puppy. And then I'm like, okay, so I don't think Pol Pot raped a puppy. And then the libertarians come out and go, you like Pol Pot? But he did the Khmer Rouge. You jackass. That's what our page has been like this week.
All weekend long, I was like having so much fun defending the memes that were going up while saying I don't support Kavanaugh.
And the memes just kept getting worse.
They did. I also, maybe I went a little too far with how many people are going to get arrested in D.C. But to all of you who voted over 150, congratulations, you won.
Yeah, overall, it was a 170, 167.
It was, when I checked that night at like 9 o'clock, it was 164, I believe. So I stopped checking because it was over 150. I don't know what the fun.
Yeah, so anyone who took our poll and guessed, and the majority of you did, guessed over 150 people would be arrested during the final Kavanaugh protests. Good on you.
Yeah, good on you. That took me a while to come up with that. It took me a while to come up with that number because I was like, it's going to be more than 100. 120? Yeah, I still think it's going to be more. 150, I almost went more. I almost said 170. But you know what? But that would have been yeah, you would have been just over. So using the Price is Right rules, you would have lost. Right.
But because if someone had said, would it be over 200, I would have been like, no.
200 was too high.
That's a lot of people. Over 150? Yeah. And we did. It was just over 150.
Just beat it.
And by the way, we're not in favor of people being arrested for protesting.
No.
Although
it depends on what they were. I don't know what they were doing to protest. If it was okay, so Amy Schumer got arrested a few days before that. But the article I read just said that 100 people were arrested at the Senate building, and Amy Schumer was one of the people that was arrested for protesting, which I thought was funny because she hasn't done anything funny in so long. This was hilarious.
Hilarious.
Amy
Schumer, ladies and gentlemen.
I know. Best thing she's done with her career ever. But she allegedly... it's not even allegedly. It's been kind of proven at this point. But the police said, do you want to be arrested? And all 100 of these people said yes, including Amy Schumer. So it wasn't even like you were causing a scene. You were like, no, I want to be arrested in order to show my support for this.
My virtue.
Yeah. So, I mean, even her getting... I don't know how many of the 168 people or whatever it was being arrested on Saturday were the same situation. But
I've never been asked if I wanted to be arrested.
I 100% have been.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
I know.
I would have definitely said no. I'm too pretty for even jail.
The story behind that one was it was July. Oh, hang on a second. We have another call.
We have another call.
And then we'll get back to the story.
We can tell them the story.
Yeah. Welcome to the Muddied Waters of Freedom.
I have a question for you guys.
Oh my God, Diana.
How did you know?
Because I know your voice.
Oh, okay.
It's buried in my soul.
It doesn't have to be political, does it?
No.
No.
Okay. Okay, so my question for you both, if you had to choose, if you had to choose, which would you rather be? Would you rather be a male fairy or a merman? Once you make your decision,
fairy?
you have to justify your answer.
What size fairy?
Like a flying fairy, like Tinkerbell. Only like a male Tinkerbell.
Oh, so like just a 2.5 inch maybe on a good day?
I mean, I'm sure you're a fairy. You can make yourself bigger.
Well, if I can change size, I would be a fairy because I like swimming, but fairies I think can swim, right? It just seems like they have more options as a fairy.
That's true.
Than as a merman.
Yeah, but fairies can cast spells.
What's that?
Fairies can cast spells or don't cast spells?
They can cast spells.
Okay, yeah.
So
then I definitely would be a fairy over a merman.
I would have to go merman, I believe.
And why?
Really?
Because you can wear your jammers.
Well, yeah, that too. You're gonna get the swimmer body. Like as a merman, you're automatically gonna have the swimmer body because all you do is swim.
All you do is swim.
Right.
But that's all you can do.
Well, that's not true because Ariel didn't swim half the time.
Well, yeah, but
she got legs.
She got legs based on black magic from an evil SJW witch.
Ursula?
Oh, see, I would be like, I want to be whatever the octopus people are, like what Ursula was. If I had to be a water
You want to be the male Ursula? You want to be a
yes.
Mersula?
I want to be Mersula. I would be so if I can't be a fairy, if I have to be a water-based hybrid human creature, I would be a Mersula.
That's fair because that's kind of a fairy and merman combined.
Yes, in many ways, kind of the best of both worlds. Because she grew too. She got big too. So because I'm all about this whole size shifting thing, and also the black magic. And she had a really impressive singing voice that was underrated on that show.
I thought so.
And so, yeah. So for all of those reasons, I would be a Mersula.
Spike, Diana is one of your people.
What's that?
What?
Diana is one of your people.
Oh, are you in the tribe?
We're chosen. Yes, we're the chosen one.
Welcome to the chosen.
So,
tribe.
what do you think of Diana? What do you think of the American student?
Oh, this isn't. You don't get to turn it on the caller and ask them a question. That's not how this works.
Yeah. How do you? I like how this is going to be so great because look, I got a volume button
Speaking
for
of
you.
Jews,
how do you feel about? I got a volume button for Diana. This is the happiest day of my life. How do you feel about the American student that was arrested in Israel for joining the boycott with the opposite side?
Thank you for answering my question. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Good luck on all the questions that pursue. Shalom and good evening. Bye.
Shalom.
I see
that was kind of disappointing.
I know. I was really hoping for an answer from Diana.
We gave such a good answer to her question about Mersulas
and mermen and everything else. Man,
and she couldn't even
anybody
couldn't even go to bat for Israel.
Exactly. She won't even stand up for Israel on that one. Man, anybody listening to this on SoundCloud later is going to be like, what are these two idiots doing?
What the hell is this show about? You know what? This is what people like, though. People like absolute insanity.
Right.
And we oh, wow.
Wow, we got another one.
Later is going to be like, what are these two idiots?
Welcome to the Muddy Waters of Freedom. Can you turn your radio down in the background?
I just muted it.
Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. This is Jason.
Hey, Jason.
Oh, hey, Jason. How are you doing?
I'm good. Okay, I can hear both of you.
Yeah. We got those.
Yeah, we fixed that. We fixed that.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
We're doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I tried to call earlier when what's his face was on talking with you guys, and it wouldn't let me go through.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We don't have a switchboard operator. Unfortunately, it's just me. So like, I was trying to figure out how to get you on hold, and I hung up. So I apologize for that. And I was trying to find a missed call list on this thing that we got here, but I couldn't find one. I was going to call you back.
We are figuring this out as you are.
Yes.
We're all learning about this together.
No, that's what I figured. I mean, I know that you guys, obviously when you weren't even sure whether it was working, I knew it was going to be a crapshoot whether I was even going to get through or not.
Right.
So, I didn't know if my phone was going to blow up or anything. So I figured I'd take the risk.
I hope your phone doesn't blow. It shouldn't.
It should not.
It should not.
We don't have that capability.
Not
hopefully.
yet.
Okay.
But thank you for calling. I'm glad you got through the busy lines that we've had here at the Muddied Waters.
Yeah, this has been. I would love for this show to become just like a teen chat line show.
Right.
That's mine. I'm really excited about that, actually.
I have a question, and is it okay
Sure.
if I backtrack your discussion to what you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you were discussing the purge, and I was actually trying to get through.
Oh, okay.
That was when I was trying to call you because I had some comments on, because I'm like Spike. I'm also an anarcho-capitalist.
All right.
So I've kind of thought about the Purge movies, and you guys were talking about how you thought it was sort of like Ancapistanish and so on and so forth. And
Right.
I actually have the opposite view. I think it's pretty much a really good example of government interference. And let me explain how this is, because they let you do anything you want for one day, but so you can commit crimes, but you can't be held accountable for them. So you can't be punished for them. So
Right.
the government steps in. So if I murder somebody during that day, if it was Ancapistan, we could build some sort of, private legal system, and that person could be punished. But in the case
Right.
of the purge, what actually happens is you can do whatever you want, and if somebody tries to take, mete out justice outside of that day for it, the government steps in and says, no, you can't do that. It was during the purge. So it's actually not really Ancapistan. It's like hardcore statism.
Okay. I can't
That's
actually.
an excellent point.
That's a great point. That was a great.
I don't know what.
That's me.
That ring was for how correct Jason
Yeah,
was. In what he just said.
that was 100%. Jason.
We just dinged the Jason is right bell.
That's
No,
right.
you're absolutely right, and that's why I was sort of vacillating on my Ancapistan joke, is that yes, in a actual free market system, you're not going to just have people running around doing whatever they want in terms of hurting each other, because there would be. It's not just that people are going to defend themselves that day. There are going to be consequences moving forward from that. You're not going to have a monopolistic entity saying, no, that was that day that you can do whatever you want, so you can't do anything to them.
Right.
So no, you're absolutely correct. No, in Ancapistan, you wouldn't have a purge.
No, you wouldn't need one.
Right. You wouldn't need
one.
Yeah.
Well, you don't really need it now, but it's just something. It's like bread and circuses.
You never
for
need
the people that the government are doing.
There are days I kind of wish we had a purge, but just
Right.
Well,
just because I feel as though some things would be a lot of fun.
as long as government people aren't exempt from it, I would love to have.
That's
a
the
purge.
other
That would be awesome.
Right.
And
So-
that's the other thing, Jason. Like where you were saying how it's peak statism. You still couldn't go after the high level government officials, so
Right.
it really wasn't. And on Campistan, we'd have already gone after the government officials.
See, but nowhere in the rules, from what I remember from the movies, does it say anything about you can't go after government buildings.
Oh.
And
That's a good
that was
point.
my kind of workaround on everything, is just take the buildings out.
Yeah, that's a
Then
good
they don't
idea.
have anywhere to go.
Right.
Oh, and all the military equipment.
Right.
You could just steal it.
You could just take the military equipment.
You could just take it. Don't blow it up. Just take the damn tank.
And you don't hurt anyone. You just take it. It's like I just want peace. Here, this is my tank now.
Right. I just want this tank. I'm going to put it in my front yard like the guy in Texas.
Yes, like the HOA, my HOA hero.
Yes.
I hate HOA.
Yeah. I also have another comment about the purge. Because it's restricted to one day, all of the things that people do during that day, their time horizons are by government fiat sort of contracted to one day into the future. So you can't make any long-term plans. So the way people are behaving during that day is, again, under the influence of, the government interference there. They're like, part of what brings about civilization is people can be forward-thinking, but during the purge you can't be forward-thinking because that state of affairs only lasts for one day. So the behavior people display isn't really indicative of what they would display like in Ancapistan. So anyway.
We need to have Jason on more because
Jason is throwing out
better than we do.
Yeah, Jason is throwing out some good points. Like when I watch The Purge, I get mad about bullets with GPS GPS tracers in them, trackers in them, because I thought that was stupid as crap. But other than that, I was just kind of like I just shut my brain off and I watched Senseless Violence. And Jason is coming up with great.
Jason went into time preference on this. So and you're right. You're 100%.
Yeah, you are correct.
You have a monopolistic entity that has created an artificial situation that destabilizes the very roots of civilization. Jason, you are, I don't know, can we do that bell ding again? Because I think that's now the Jason bell.
That is, I forgot to turn my notifications off and somebody texted me in the middle of it. But
okay. I'll get a bell in case Jason calls in
say,
again.
We're going to need
we'll
a
just
Jason
the bell
bell
when he's right.
I appreciate it. You guys are too kind.
Jason, we appreciate you calling. You want to hear about the time?
Thank you for calling.
Do you want to hear about the time that I asked to get arrested?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up so other people can call in. But
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep listening.
Okay,
so
cool.
go ahead and tell that story.
Okay, cool.
I appreciate you guys answering my call and talking to me.
Oh yeah, Jason, thank you for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you for talking to us.
All right, buddy.
Okay. All right.
So bye. So it was July 4th. I was 22, I'll say.
Okay.
Now, at this point in my life, I'd been to jail a handful of times. Not very long, just like, 48 hours here, 72 there.
Right.
But I'd been to jail. And my buddy was driving, and we got pulled over at like 2 a.m. And he blew over the legal limit. And so I was in the passenger seat, and the cop, I was much different then than I am now. I was much more passive. And the cop comes around and he's like, look, I can let you drive the car home if you're not over the legal limit. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you just have to take a breathalyzer. That was where I made my first mistake. So I took the breathalyzer and I blew a point. He never showed it to me, but he said that I blew a .09. But he was just like, crap, you're over. Sorry, I can't let you drive. And he said, can you... And my buddy was already in handcuffs in the backseat of the car. And I had to pee. And he was like, can you get somebody to come pick you up? Or do you want to go to jail? And I was thinking, well, my buddy's never been to jail. I've been there enough times that, I kind of can handle the drunk tank pretty well.
Right.
And, that way he doesn't like freak out being in jail. So I was like, no, just take me to jail. I don't care.
So were you charged with something or you just went to jail?
I was charged with drunk in public, which is a stupid charge, but that's how.
Yeah, because you weren't in public.
No, I was in a car. But the moment I stepped out of the car for him to arrest me, I was drunk in public.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yep.
So if you don't have a garage when you pull up to your house, you're drunk in public during the time that you're walking to your
private property,
your door?
Private property.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. If you park on the street, yes.
You're screwed.
Yeah. Which is why the next time when I got pulled over and the cop said, "Can you have somebody come pick you up?" Oh, I said, "Yes." Got another car.
Exactly.
Thank you for calling the Muddy Waters of Freedom.
Hi guys, it's Tova.
Tova.
Hey, Tova. We are on a Jew roll. We were two for four so far with Jew.
I know, and I have to tell you, I'm very, very happy to go to bat for the Jewish state, Jewland, but that's not why I'm calling.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I wrote this as a comment, but I don't know if it showed up, which is why I'm calling in.
Okay.
It has to do with the recent political drama we've been having with certain Supreme Court nominees who are now confirmed. I don't know. I haven't been following it.
Right.
Okay.
But, so I've been hearing from multiple people, which really frightens me, in fact, that it's been multiple people who've been saying to me, you know, Tova, the fact that he's even being accused means he's unfit, and anybody who's accused of serious things like that just shouldn't even be considered for serious jobs like this. And my immediate reaction, in my very libertarian viewpoint, is, do you realize how fucking insane that sounds? Like, anybody can be accused of anything.
Of anything, exactly.
But if anybody ever says anything bad about you, then what? Nobody should even consider you? Like, I understand, okay, investigation, this, that, and the other, but like...
Right.
No,
and
just the allegation, right.
And so I'm hearing this not from one crackpot person. I'm hearing this from multiple people who, though I may disagree with politically, are fairly reasonable people. I don't know what to say to them. To me, it's so obvious. It's such a no-brainer. Like, of course that's a ridiculous idea. It's a dangerous idea. It basically says that nobody ever gets to live their lives because people talk about them and therefore they can't get a job. So, like, I don't know what to say to these people. All my questions are always so, like, hopeless. Like, how do I do this? How do I do that?
what is this life even? So what I would say is... Oh, go ahead, Matt. I'll let you talk first.
Well, yeah, what I was going to say, Tova, was that if, you know, an accusation does not mean guilt, like, obviously. And many people can get accused of things, many people get accused of things every day that aren't true. The easy ones to go are just because somebody says that somebody's a racist doesn't make them a racist. Just because somebody says that they're a Nazi doesn't make them a Nazi. I can sit here right now and say that Chuck Schumer touched me in my no-no spot. And that's an accusation.
That's it. We're kicking you off. We're kicking you off the show.
Right. Right. Like,
yeah, you have to. Yeah, you. Well, no.
Well, they'd be Chuck.
Well, no, he's the victim.
I'm the victim. You got to believe me.
Yeah, but you touched a Democrat with your penis.
That's I mean, Chuck Schumer stuck his finger up in my booty hole, and when I was
you gotta go now.
When I was 13 years old. So like, should he be in the Senate? No, I mean, no, he should be kicked out, right? Obviously,
well,
he's been accused.
He's a Democrat.
Well, right, but
he's absolved. But I don't understand. Where is this coming from? Like,
so,
I can't fathom a scenario in which that's like a reasonable way to think.
So
where's this coming from?
The easiest one to get that I would use is when they're like, oh, he shouldn't even be in there because of the accusations, is ask him about Keith Ellison. Because Keith Ellison was accused of beating the ever-living crap out of his girlfriend, who was an activist for the Democrat Party. And there's allegedly a video, but nobody's seen it. And the lawyer for the Democrat Party of Minnesota, I believe, said, oh, well, an allegation doesn't actually mean guilty and there's no evidence to back it up. But he's been accused and the allegation's there, so does that mean he shouldn't be there?
He's been accused and she claims that there's video.
I've done that before. I brought up Bill Clinton. He's got plenty of women who have
Bill Clinton
spoken out against him. And I've said, well, what about, the whataboutism? And then they'll say, oh, it was never proven. They can't see the disconnect between, when it's somebody we like, oh, it was never proven.
Right.
If it's somebody we don't like, then any allegation against him, we're just going to believe it immediately. Can you even reason with people like that?
No.
Not even try?
No.
You really can't.
No. So depending on how well you know how much this person matters to you, you could try to reason, or if they don't really matter that much to you, you can just get up and start yelling, "This person raped me," and like over and over again. And,
except do it at their job.
at their job.
Oh my
Just
God.
play it cool and be like, oh, that's an excellent point. And then the next day, go to wherever they're like a barista at or whatever, and go in and be like, that person raped me. He raped me. He raped me. I was raped by him.
Believe all women.
Believe women. Believe victims.
I'm a woman, and he raped me.
Yeah.
And so that's a reasonable way to handle that.
Well,
I wouldn't say that's a
Reasonable
reasonable way to handle it, but it's definitely a way to handle it.
It's a way to. It is a way.
will try it next time. I will try it next time. The other thing is, you guys were talking about Israel,
Yes.
and then you didn't really get into it, and I'm curious to know what it was you guys were mentioning. Somebody got arrested for...
Yeah, so an American college, I believe she's a college student. I don't know her name.
Grad student.
I don't know all the details. What's that?
She's a grad student. I
Yeah.
don't know
So
what her
she's a
name is, though.
Yeah, so she's an American citizen. She's going to Israel. I'm not 100% sure why. I want to say that she's visiting family there. I think she's Jewish, but I'm not certain of that.
She is Jewish.
She is Jewish.
Yes.
So she's a Jewess, and she went to Israel, but she's a part of the college BDS movement, the boycott, divest and sanction movement. Yeah. And so Israel has a law that if you're a foreign national coming into Israel who is a part of the BDS movement, that you're not allowed in Israel. And so they've detained her. She's been detained for, I don't know, 3 days, 4 days, something like that. I think she's fighting to try to be able to stay there. And so we just, whenever we do this show, we like write down like stuff that's happening, and that was one of them.
Okay, so can I comment on that?
Yeah, please.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna sound super Jewy and super non-libertarian.
I love the fact that I have two people on the show that can say that, and I absolutely am not allowed to say that word.
What, super Jewy? You can say super Jewy.
I can say super Jewy?
Sorry.
No.
You can say Jewy. I'm not offended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number one, it's their country. They can do whatever they want. Well, not whatever they want, but number two, if she's so interested in boycotting Israel, why is she traveling there and spending money there?
That's a compelling question.
That is a compelling question.
Number three, rather. I'm thinking of something else, and I don't know if this is part of it, but there has been this movement over the past few months. You guys are probably aware of Birthright, which is a series of free trips to Israel that college students and older are provided at no charge. And it's basically a 10-day tour of Israel where Jewish kids fly to Israel and they go on this tour of the country. And yes, there's some very heavy pro-Israel propaganda. I'm definitely not going to sugarcoat it. But there's been this movement of kids who will get off the bus and willingly walk into the West Bank and try and sabotage their trip and making it all about, BDS and what about the Palestinians? What about the Palestinians? So
right.
I'm not saying this person should be locked up, but it could be that people are just getting fed up with the stuff that they're seeing coming from, unfortunately, from the Jewish left, which these days is rabidly anti-Israel at some points. And it could be they're just saying, you know what, screw you. We don't even want you in our country. But again, I'm going back to my second point. If she is so committed to a boycott is a boycott. There's no such thing as a partial boycott. If you're committed to boycotting something, you are all in. There's no such thing as, well, I'm going to boycott you, but I'm going to fly to your country and spend money there and visit my family.
Right.
I've never heard of such a thing.
So I was just, real quick, I was looking something up. She's not Jewish. She's got Palestinian grandparents. So I believe she was over there visiting them, but she flew into Israel.
To go visit people in the Palestinian territory, I'm guessing.
That's what I'm going to guess.
Okay.
Well, she could have flown into Cairo and then driven.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how that works.
So she's not that devoted, or to Jordan. If it's the West Bank, did you say West Bank, or you didn't say where?
No, I didn't say where.
Okay.
I don't. You guys are telling me about this. So you'd have to look it up. But,
yeah, I'm looking.
Gaza, as far as I know, Gaza does not have an airport.
She landed at Ben Gurion Airport.
Ben Gurion. That's Tel Aviv.
Ben Gurion.
Ben Gurion.
Yeah, but she could. again, if you really want to show you support the boycott movement, you could fly into Jordan if it's the West Bank, or
I guess
Egypt
I
if
guess
it's
what
Gaza.
What I'm saying is it's absolutely people's right to boycott. I think I would be a liberty-hating person if I thought that nobody had the right to boycott. You have the right to boycott,
Right.
but I think in turn, if you have the right to boycott a country or an organization or a company or whatever, that company has the right to say, screw you.
Right.
We don't want you here. So it's not the most libertarian thing in the world, but Israel is not the most libertarian country, in case nobody hit.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, libertarian, Israel is not and has never claimed to be. I mean, Israel was initially founded by communists. So, I mean, and they've moved forward from there they've definitely liberalized parts of their economy and things like that. But Israel is not, if you're expecting the Western style of civil liberties respect, you're not going to get that in Israel. Never did.
Like,
so,
you gotta go.
Yeah.
You have to. There's restrictions on gun ownership. There's restrictions on speech. I mean, is it the same thing as living in Saudi Arabia or North Korea? No, I would say
that's
overall
the thing.
it's a free country. But it's not America. And I get really irritated with people when they're like, oh, how can that be? And I'm like, it's not America. I mean,
yeah, it's not, and it never has been. Yeah.
No.
But it's not America.
Really, nowhere else is. Like, absolutely nowhere else is. Like, if you do a boycott here in America, Nike stocks go up. If you do
boycotts here, the company just does better.
Yeah,
right.
You do a boycott other places, you're probably going to jail. So I mean,
a lot of times, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, nowhere else is America, and each country does get to run their country the way that they kind of want to. Like, I may disagree with
about the boycott.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
There's one last thing, and then I'm going to hang up.
Okay.
BDS has been demonstrated. This is a proven fact. They have been demonstrated to associate with terrorist groups. When you look at people like Linda Sarsour and what's his face in the UK, all of these people that are promoting, not all of them, but BDS movement as a whole is associated with the same people who are stabbing Israelis and shooting Israelis. There were 2 shootings just a few days ago. The incendiary kites, all of that stuff. And it could just be, hey, we're not locking you up because we think you should be locked up because you're boycotting us. Maybe they're locking her up because since she's part of BDS, they are concerned that she may be connected with people that have bloodlust for Jews.
Also definitely a possibility, and something that I understand Israel being concerned about stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Jews aren't allowed to defend themselves, so we can just throw that out right there.
I mean, that's been history for about 5,000 years or so.
Right.
So that's what I wanted
to
say about it. I'm going to use the Ellison argument the next time I hear that a sexual assault allegation precludes people from serious job offers, and see what happens. But I have a feeling it's not going to go over very well.
No, they're not going to care. It's like it's talking to a
They're
wall.
not going to care. It's purely partisan. It has nothing to do with believing women or believing survivors. Because if they did, then they would hate Bill Clinton and they would hate Keith Ellison, and they'd hate Chuck Schumer for what he did to Matt.
Right.
So.
Oh my God.
They would hate Anthony Weiner. They would hate Chuck Schumer because he put his finger in my booty hole.
Which is just such a weird thing. What a weird thing for Chuck Schumer to do.
I mean, his daughter's Amy, so it's.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, I hope you recover from your trauma.
I'm doing my best.
Prayers for Matt. We're praying for you, Matt. We know you're going to pull through.
We need to make shirts that say "Believe all Matt."
Believe Matt. Believe Matt.
Believe Matt.
I believe Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can get those shirts made and put them on our
We're
website.
definitely getting "I Believe Matt" shirts. Definitely.
Yeah, but because I'm Jewish, you got to send me a commission.
Yeah.
Coming up with the idea.
Yeah, no, that's definitely that's
that's a
definitely
thing.
you're getting
That's,
you're getting a piece of that.
Is 7% good?
Cool. All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Thank
calling.
you so much for calling in.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. We're going to have a very popular call-in show.
I think we may just have a call-in show at this point.
This is going to become a call-in show.
We're going to have to do a separate day of the week for call-in shows so we can actually do the news one day.
So we're going to talk about that. Hey, I'm fine with this, though. This is good. So, because it just means we're not talking about Brett Kavanaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And, which I'm
not
good
as
with
much
because
anyway.
I'm sick of talking.
We aren't talking about him as much. And thank
Yeah,
God.
we've talked a little, but not like it hasn't been all about Brett Kavanaugh, and I'm happy about that because I was really sick about talking.
And I don't have to defend him this week as much.
No more. Now we can go to when he makes his terrible judicial decisions. We go, that damn Brett Kavanaugh son of a...
You're right.
And people can and people will be like, yeah, he's a rapist. We'll be like, well.
So I gotta find our notes. They got scrolled way back on our conversation.
Yeah, we just Taylor Swift. What else?
Taylor Swift. Oh, so Minnesota teacher. So the Minnesota teacher.
Oh.
And
yes.
also with the Minnesota teacher, we can throw in Stephen Colbert's writer.
Oh, I don't know about this. You'll have to tell me.
Excellent. So the Minnesota teacher tweeted out about killing Kavanaugh.
Yes, yeah, the Minnesota teacher did.
The Minnesota teacher tweeted out something about killing Kavanaugh. Obviously,
she said, "Who's going to take one for the team and kill Kavanaugh?"
Right. But one of Stephen Colbert's writers for whichever show he has, Tonight Show, I think, Late Show, I don't know, whichever one it is.
Late Show. Yeah.
Late Show. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Colbert's Late Night Show. One of his writers tweeted out, however, no matter what, I'm glad we ruined his life.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I knew she was a writer. I didn't know she was cold. But, yeah, she said, whatever happens, however this turned out, at least we ruined Brett Kavanaugh's life.
Right. Which
is cheery.
Not only that, but I mean, the way that I saw that was it speaks more to it speaks more to how they were viewing it. Like, they weren't viewing it as, yes, this guy's a rapist. Yes, this guy sexually assaulted somebody. Yes, this. No, we just want to destroy this person.
Yeah.
We want to destroy his family. We want to destroy his life. And once they did it, it was like, okay, well, we've done it. Great.
And they were saying, I mean, the most hardcore ones weren't in favor of him or at least not against destroying his life until these allegations came out. These were people that simply because of the fact that he was being appointed by Donald Trump. And I don't even think there was a lot of, I mean, honestly, if they looked at some of his opinions, they'd probably like it. I don't know a lot of left-wingers that wouldn't be happy with the Supreme Court justice saying that the Second Amendment doesn't apply to concealed carry, or that, cities should be able to restrict gun ownership, or that, that the government, if it's, as long as the Democrats in charge, should be able to, tap your phones whenever they want without a warrant.
Right.
But they were already against him, and it was purely for partisan reasons, partisan / just pure hatred of specifically of Donald Trump.
And not only that, but a study came out this week. I don't remember who put out the study, but a study came out this week that Kavanaugh sided 93% of the time with Merrick Garland.
With Merrick Garland, yeah. So for those who don't know who Merrick Garland is, when Justice Antonin Scalia died in 2016, right before, I guess not quite a year before the election, Scalia was on the conservative side of the court, and Obama nominated a guy named Merrick Garland to replace him. And to Obama's credit, I mean, he had put up Kagan and Sotomayor, who are hardcore left-wingers, Merrick Garland really wasn't. He was kind of a centrist,
Yeah.
lean left on some stuff, lean right on some stuff. So he wasn't, I think he was hoping to, obviously he was hoping for him to get put through. So he figured if I can replace a hardcore right winger with someone kind of in the middle, squishy middle, then maybe that'll get through. Mitch McConnell, who apparently is a crystal ball reader, was like, nah, screw you. We're not even going to bring him up for a vote or even to talk about him.
Right.
We're just going to ignore this because you're not going to be president you're only a president for a few more months. And at a time when everyone was saying, hey, Mitch, the next president's probably going to be a Democrat, and there's a good chance that you might lose the majority. And Mitch said, no, I'm going to let it ride because I'm Cocaine Mitch.
Because I'm old Cocaine Mitch.
I'm old Cocaine Mitch.
Yeah.
And I don't care about nothing. And you know what? Mitch McConnell was right, and he ended up winning.
As a gambler, he should have gone to Vegas in November and just goodness. Everything on black. Because you always bet on black. Wesley Snipes taught me that.
Yeah, you always bet on black. I did. I'm not going to do
that. That's a good joke right there.
Working out so far. Yeah, working out. Yeah. 8 years strong.
Yeah, so far.
8 years strong.
So far, that's a good gamble.
It's a good bet so far.
Yeah, so far. That's a good one.
But yeah, so he's why Mitch McConnell was essentially why Gorsuch is the guy who replaced Scalia instead of Garland. But anyway, like you said, so Republicans obviously did not want Garland because Obama appointed him, and Democrats did want Garland because Obama appointed him. And they routinely talk about how wonderful Garland is, and if only we had gotten Garland. But like you said, Garland and Kavanaugh voted 93% of the time.
Right. And
with each other.
Right, with each other. That's a 7% difference. I have not met a political candidate. Well, not met, but I have not seen a political candidate where I agree with them more than 88% of the time.
93 is impressive.
93 is real impressive. I'm voting for that guy every time.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew someone who agreed with me 93% of the time, I would be comfortable deferring to them if I didn't have time to give my opinion on something.
Right.
With the off chance that they might disagree with me. And what do you want to bet that 7% of the time they weren't polar opposites? There was maybe just some, shades of disagreement there.
Just a little bit off here or there.
Yeah, so I mean, you've essentially gotten your Merrick Garland. Now, you could still argue it's possible that this still shifted the court to the right because Kennedy was moving to the left as the longer he was in there.
Yeah, as he got older.
Yeah, as he got older, Anthony Kennedy, the guy that Kavanaugh was replacing, was shifting to the left. But here's the thing. We have learned from Roberts and really all of them, with the exception of Alito and maybe Clarence Thomas, who, by the way, Clarence Thomas got that way because he now hates Democrats for what they did to him.
Right.
Most of the time, you have no idea what these justices are going to do. I mean, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who knew that was going to happen? Who knew she was going to become the left standard bearer of the court? Of
the court, right. No, and she is. And I absolutely know that the people on the left have to be crapping their pants with the fact that RBG is 85.
Oh, yeah.
85 years
85.
old.
85.
And the other hard lefty that's in there is 80. I don't remember his name.
Souter. Yeah.
80. So 85 and 80 are the two oldest people on the court, and they're both on the left. And if, for whatever reason, if one of them drops out, changes everything for history.
Yeah, and Sotomayor has some kind of... She had to go to the hospital for something, and supposedly she has some kind of chronic health thing that she might eventually, not necessarily now, but in another... If Donald Trump's reelected within that time frame, might eventually end up stepping down. Although I have a feeling she's going to stick around because the horror of Donald Trump replacing 4 justices in the Supreme Court might be or 5 if Souter also goes. How'd you like a Trump court, everyone?
Right. Just six. He puts 4 or 5 justices on that seat, on the bench. Oh man. The head of the collective left would just explode, and people on the right would be like, "Okay, I know that we were kind of all in favor of this for a little while, but this is getting a little out of hand."
Well, and not only that, but again, not massive changes in terms of ideology, because he hasn't been picking he hasn't been picking these crazy firebrand right-wing justices, and B, you don't even know what they're going to do.
Right.
I mean, RBG, if correct me if I'm wrong, she was appointed by Reagan, correct?
I believe she was, yeah.
Ronald Reagan.
Right? Wasn't she? She was.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan. Yeah. So last I heard, he was a Republican, and she is the standard bearer for the left. So,
and Roberts.
I mean,
Roberts was appointed by Bush too. Correct.
Yep.
And granted, Kavanaugh was the one who convinced him that Obamacare is a tax. For anybody who didn't know that.
Right.
Kavanaugh was the one who made the argument that Obamacare is a tax, so therefore it is constitutional. And Roberts was the one who went, yeah, no, Brett's right. So
Brett, who will soon be up here too.
Right.
And Republicans will be happy about that for some reason.
For some reason.
Yeah. I think the reason I'm most happy that Brett Kavanaugh is on the Supreme Court is that we can just go back to opposing him and not getting into this stupid battle of. We don't have to defend him because he's already on there. He's a rapist. Well, he's a rapist who's on the Supreme Court. So what do you want to do?
Although I will say that Lindsey Graham, I know we talked about this last week, but Lindsey Graham, he just continues. Oh, hang on, we have a call.
Yes, phone call.
Thank you for calling the Mighty Waters of Freedom.
Hey, Matt, this is Adam Freeman.
Adam Freeman. How are you?
Adam Freeman.
Adam Freeman, he has an episode, episode 2 is named after him. It's called The Freeman. He was also on our episode last September 7th, and he was on the episode of The Writer's Block this September 6th. He is the NLP guy. He is the NLP guy, Neuro-Linguistic Programming.
Oh, yeah. So, Adam, first of all, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Thank you. And I have to admit that my perception of you is somewhat skewed by some interesting memes that Matt made about you. Which I've tried to put it in perspective that they were jokes, but they were good. So
he really chopped up his family and
ate
them. So Adam is from Houston, and he really enjoys the camping and going out and doing wilderness things, which are things I don't do because indoors.
Right, because air conditioning. Yeah.
Right, air conditioning, showers, bathrooms. All the things that we built so long, we worked so long to build.
So we don't have to camp anymore. Yeah, right. Exactly.
But Adam enjoys doing the opposite of that and throwing away, thousands of years of innovation for a week here or there.
For fun.
Just for the heck of it, yeah.
For kicks.
So he, so that picture was from a camping trip that he went on with his girlfriend, and she sent that to me, and I was like, oh, well, now I have the greatest meme of all time in my mind, and it's Creepy Adam.
It's good. Good stuff.
I wasn't offended by it. I tend to take quite a lot of creepy pictures. I don't have a lot of challenges with the way they look or no need to really impress anybody. But Matt really took it to the next level. I got a lot of good laughs out of it. And
that was pretty next level stuff.
We're just like, what the heck?
You want to know what a mouthful of pennies tastes like? Try my blood.
Oh God.
Yep.
That was all of those were to the point where I messaged Matt and I'm like, "Is everything okay?" And he explained the backstory. I'm like, "Are you all right? Like, what is this guy done something to you?"
So much.
So, yeah, and you were like, "No, it's funny." I'm like, "Okay, well, Godspeed then."
I just really like it when I'm looking on his Facebook feed. And the last 9 pictures of him is that picture with a different caption. So when he gets like a new like recent photos on that opening page, I make 9 more.
Yeah, whenever anybody is like maybe doing any due diligence on me or something and searching around and they come across me on the internet, that's the first thing they see, by the way.
Nice.
Yep.
Good stuff. And you're making sure, Matt, that like you said, if he adds pictures that push that down,
oh yeah,
you add some more so that that's what's at the top of his photo feed for anyone that might want to do a cursory background check on the poor guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
good stuff.
Yeah. I don't know who this Matt Wright character is, but if Adam is anything like he is in these photos, we probably don't want him on this team. Because accusations should preclude you from having...
accusations, believe victims, believe meme makers.
That's right.
And and in a way, that's a form of neuro-linguistic programming, no?
Yeah, absolutely. You could do it. That's conditioning, right? So you have the aspect out there of him painting a picture of who I am and doing it. But hey, I like a challenge.
Adam, glad you called. What did you want to talk about besides you being really creepy?
That's really what I called in, just to be creepy. I plan on just breathing heavily into the phone, but you guys carried me really well into that.
That's great. Yeah, I'm usually the heavy breather on the show, so I appreciate you taking up that baton.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I read an interesting article about Elon Musk putting in some water filtration systems in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool that everybody always asks the question about why don't the billionaires take matters into their own hands and spend their own money to fix the world's problems. And then I don't know if you guys thoughts on that.
And then he goes and does that.
And then he does it. Yeah. No. That. Yeah. I mean, obviously everybody knows. Well, most of the people who watch us or listen to us know that the free market is going to be able to solve the issues of the world much faster than the government. I mean, it's just
right.
There's that story. I don't remember where it was. It was during either a hurricane or a snowstorm, and this guy, his mom or grandmother was somewhere, and he couldn't get a hold of her, and he called the police, and he called the fire department, he called the EMS, and they were like, "Oh, we can't get there." So he called Domino's or Papa John's, and they delivered Papa John's, and they delivered a pizza to the house that the police couldn't get to. And I mean, and then he said, "Hey, if this woman is there, have her call me so I know she's okay." And she did, and he was like, "Oh, okay, great. Now I know my mom is safe." But the police weren't able to get there. Elon Musk essentially did the exact same thing, just on a much grander scale, by doing he was giving filtration systems to everybody in Flint, right?
Yeah, whole house filtration systems. Right. Yeah.
So
which is, I'd like one, but I mean, I guess priority or whatever. But I actually would like one, but they're kind of pricey.
Apparently, he's never had Florida water. Otherwise, I would have one.
Maybe he did, but it was it was Zephyr Hills water.
With Flint nowadays and St. Pete's a little different.
Well, I don't know. That depends on who's mayor of St. Pete. But that's a local issue that we don't need to get into right now. Rick Kreisman likes to dump crap water into the city's water. Just tossing that one out there. What Elon Musk is doing in many ways is just proving that the free market system is so much better than the government system. Although I will say I do disagree with the fact that he takes so many government subsidies for all of his projects. So basically, the government's paying for it.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing too. I was going to say of that, you got to realize that he's writing off most of that.
It's not only that he's writing off most of it; it's they're government grants.
Yeah, if there's a grant or loan or credit available for whatever project he's doing, he actively works to take it. Which I mean.
Donald Trump cheats the tax system because that's what the laws are in place for. So I get it.
Yeah, So first of all, there's a big difference between taking a tax credit and taking like a subsidy. If I'm avoiding a tax somehow, that's me not getting robbed. I have found a way to not get robbed as much. If I'm actually taking a gift of money, someone else has been robbed and I'm receiving that money. or rather,
Okay.
money's being printed out in someone's name. So I mean, there's a little bit of a difference. But he is not against corporatism per se, at least if it benefits him. But he also what I like about him is that he tends to go after stuff that is almost always is with the exception of Tesla Motors, everything else he's doing is basically saying I can do that better than the government can and for less.
Right.
And I really like that a lot.
Big fan of anybody proving that they can do something better and cheaper than the government.
Yeah,
Right.
Keyword proving, not just saying that they can.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, like actually doing it. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of that. I also like that he just went on Joe Rogan's show and smoked a blunt because who's going to stop me? I'm Elon Musk.
He never inhaled that, by the way. Like, I watched that video a bunch. He never inhaled. He brought that.
Oh, really?
Like the Bill Clinton stance, I didn't inhale.
Yeah, exactly. Except, like, if you watch that, it's like he hits it, but he doesn't do, like, the obligatory inhale afterwards. He doesn't
Right.
do
Yeah, he didn't do that.
He didn't do that. He just kind of hits it.
Which is the best part.
It is the best part, yeah.
actually.
And he just kind of hits it, and then he lets it out, and just like kind of blows it out, and kind of like does the eye. His eyes got like half masked, and he was just there. And I was like, "You didn't actually inhale that, dude." I've smoked a lot of weed in my life, and that's not how you do it.
Well, allegedly, some people don't take as much. don't need to have as much, allegedly.
Adam is one of those people, by the way.
Allegedly.
Oh, okay.
Adam is very much one of those people. But right now, Adam you're in. Where are you?
Bossier, Louisiana.
Bossier, Louisiana. I got nothing.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah, I got nothing for that.
Yeah, no. I told him to get some
That sounds-
Atouffee, and he was like, "No, I'm not in New Orleans." But
Is it near New Orleans?
No, north by Shreveport.
Oh, okay.
Shreveport. Okay. But he.
Take my word for it. It exists.
I know it does. It was in a song, and I was trying to remember the song. Shreveport, Louisiana.
I've heard of Shreveport.
And he is working for a chemical company. I think he's like just destroying the environment one sale at a time, but I'm not 100.
Yeah,
That'll be the next
say that. So recently onboarded as the VP of Sales for Renowned Chemical Solutions, a chemical company based out of Houston, Texas. And we supply a lot of the oil field service companies with the required chemicals to do their service work and help make sure that, wells get drilled and produce oil and kind of do the whole 9 yards safely with chemicals all across the board.
Are these fracking chemicals?
Some of them, yes.
Oh my gosh, that's even worse than what the meme said you did.
So what's funny is earlier today, Adam and I were texting because we text pretty regularly. And he was like, I don't know what to talk about. And as a joke, I said, fracking.
And here we are.
And here we are. And you brought...
Here we are. So full disclosure, I'm not an expert in fracking. I'm not an expert in chemicals yet. And still got a lot to learn on it. But, I have been involved in the oil and gas industry for off and on for a number of years and have seen a lot of different sides of it and experienced a lot of it too. So I'm a little unbiased as far as my opinion goes besides that, but no leaning one way or the other to openly talk about.
Yeah, and I'm pro fracking for the same reason that I defended Kavanaugh. All the right people dislike it, and so I have just assumed it's a good thing.
Right.
So I've just moved forward assuming that it's a good thing because they're against it. And I've had people say, "Oh no, it's a good thing." I'm like, "Okay, good, it's a good thing."
My thing on fracking is I think that it's really great in certain areas, but really awful in other areas. Like I don't think fracking in Florida is the greatest idea because like we're built on limestone, which cracks the entire state across if you mess it up. So when you do the fracking and you crack that limestone, like I mean, granted, if the southern half of Florida just drifts off, No,
they had a good run.
They did.
Yeah.
They've been around a
It
while.
was good while it lasted.
Right. But in like Oklahoma, I feel as though they have very sturdy they have a very sturdy base there. Like you could probably frack that and it'd be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, and my understanding of it is, I mean, not every well that's drilled is the same, and the different formations allow it to have different methods of stimulation and extraction for the hydrocarbons. So it's not required everywhere, and it's not used everywhere. But even though that's where a lot of common misconception is, anytime you see an oil derrick or a well being drilled or a pump jack, that they're fracking out there, and it just creates a lot of challenges. But it's not everywhere.
Right. So you're just out on the road, right? Like you're just gone from.
Yeah.
Are you going to be back for Halloween?
Yeah, I mean, I come back the 21st, and I'm supposed to stay till like the second week of November. But just got word halfway through this that there's opportunity for me to come back on the 29th, which I'm strongly considering. And that's actually to go out to Midland, Texas. And I'm not sure if you're aware about Midland, Texas, but there is a lot of oil activity out there.
I do know about Midland, Texas.
I have heard of Midland, Texas.
The hotel that I'm staying in is about $80 a night here in Shreveport. Same style hotel, a little bit crappier even, would be like $400 a night.
Really?
Yeah, just because of the location and all the oil companies out there.
Good old.
Oh wow.
Good old Midland.
Good old Midland, Texas.
Midland, Texas. Fair to Midland. Is there Fair, Texas? There's a Fair, Texas. I'm going to be really happy because then I'll just give people the directions from Fair to Midland. The people in the north don't get that joke. So if you are going to be back for Halloween, just full disclosure to everybody, Adam and I come up with the greatest Halloween costumes ever.
Undisputed, yeah.
Undisputed. Last year we were Bill and Ted. The year before that, we were Swiss Army Man and his friend.
And his friend?
Yeah.
And his friend who's just a guy?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a guy that was stranded on an island that found a dead body, and the dead body was like a Swiss Army knife.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, not really. You get that from the trailer.
I know. Well, hey guys, listen. Thank you so much for everything you guys do, sharing your knowledge and everything. It's great. I got to kind of get back at it here. Some stuff to wrap up and hit the hay pretty early so I can get back.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for calling.
Anytime.
And I'll be sure to share one of the memes on the show notes for this so people know what we're talking about.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right,
buddy. Be the cover photo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Bye, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. So we're going to have a Muddied Waters call-in show. Yeah. I think. Because if it continues to be this popular, we'll just have to be talking with people.
I know. And I'm totally okay
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah, 100%.
I am great. I'll do my show like this. We can have 5 days a week of just talking to people. Yeah. If people want to watch this, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Anytime I don't have a guest, I'm just going to put the number up on the screen and go live and be like, I don't have a guest.
My guest is you, America. Yeah, exactly.
Call me and we'll talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm good with this. And, yeah, I'm really happy with this. Yeah. I think and I'm just happy it's working, honestly.
Now, we had some bugs at the beginning, but we're good now.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah.
So we have covered
nothing.
Actually, you know what? That's not true. We've covered Kavanaugh more than I wanted to.
Right.
We covered Taylor Swift, which that was an important one for Muhammad. We beat up on Taylor Swift.
We covered the U.S. student in Israel.
Yeah.
We covered the Minnesota teacher.
The Minnesota teacher.
Yep. So Nikki Haley. She is going to be finishing out this year as the ambassador of the U.S. to the UN, and then she is resigning, obviously, to run against Trump.
Obviously. That's definitely the next step.
That's where she's going with that.
The neocon hopes and dreams rest in Nikki Haley, and I I don't know why I'm from South, so I live in South Carolina. Nikki Haley was my governor, and so I know Nikki Haley as well as any other South Carolinian does. I know the South Carolina electorate. Donald Trump would beat her in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now she might edge him out in, say, Connecticut. I don't know. Like, I mean, she wouldn't beat him in New York, even though that there's a lot of neocons there. Not going to go any further with that, but she's, yeah, I don't. She's not running against Trump.
She's not. Yeah, no, she's not going to. She's actually stated that she's going to go out and campaign for Trump.
Yeah, she had said that in their meeting. Yeah.
I think that she is. I think that she is looking for a different cabinet position, possibly, thinking that Mike Pence isn't gonna be VP the second term, and she's trying to sneak in that.
So are we going to have an episode of The Apprentice where people vie for VP while Pence is still VP?
Oh, God, I would watch that. America would watch that. So, I mean, the front runners for that would have Nikki Haley, obviously. Rand Paul, I know he would absolutely be on that show.
He would definitely be in there. Lindsey Graham now.
Lindsey Graham somehow made it on there.
And of course Ivanka Trump, always.
Always, because and Gary Busey, and
Gary Busey always. You have to have Gary and Little John.
Right. And I mean, out of those, my money would be on Ivanka Trump or Gary Busey, really.
I don't. Yeah, you know what? I would have prior to 10 days ago. I would have agreed with you. Especially with Gary. Lindsey Graham. If I went into a coma this very second, God forbid, and woke up 4 years from now and someone said, Lindsey Graham is Donald Trump's vice president, I would say, I can see that.
Yep. After this
also, where is my family? But once I figured out once I got all my stuff worked out, I'd be like, yeah, Lindsey Graham, I can see that.
So our last caller just shot us a message.
Oh.
Adam. He said that any of our listeners who are in the oil industry or in manufacturing, they get a Muddied Waters of Freedom discount on chemicals through Renowned Chemicals. And you can reach out to Adam, and I'll just throw those into the show notes later. So you get some discount if you need chemicals for oil or for manufacturing.
We're creating commerce here.
We are creating.
We're changing lives.
We are. We're doing what we can to increase the free market. So thank you, Adam Freeman and Renowned Chemicals, for that.
Yes, thank you, Creepy Adam.
Old Creepy Adam.
Old Creepy Adam.
God, there's one of those that's my favorite that I can't say on the air. Because
I think there were a couple of them you couldn't say.
Yeah, no, there's a few of them I can't say, but the one that's my favorite one I can't ever say on the air because I'm terrified my mom will listen to this show just once, and that'll be the episode she listens to.
Just they'll tune in. Let's see what my son's doing, and then hear that. Yeah, that's funny.
What did my last victim taste like? My semen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
That was Adam who said that, not me.
That's the thing. So it wasn't really you that said that. You were just passing that information along.
Exactly. Yeah, he said he had to go because he had a call come in. So yeah, right now we
discount for Renowned Chemicals, by the way.
Discount for Renowned Chemicals. Get your chemicals renowned at a discount.
We're gonna make creepy Renowned Chemicals memes now.
Yeah, Adam calling in while he's at work may not have been the best idea for him.
Really? What do you do, Creepy Adam? Oh, really? You work for a creepy chemical company?
You work for a creepy chemical company?
Why don't you send me their logo?
He sent me their website, so.
Oh, that's even better, so we can get all their stuff.
Yeah, it's renownedchem.com.
Nice. I'll do some research later.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now, you had a hurricane, what, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
We had a hurricane. Oh man, yeah, I guess 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay, so 3 weeks ago, Spike's going through a hurricane, and I'm supposed to have one hit me. Like, the fact that we still have power means that they cannot predict hurricanes for crap. It's supposed to be hitting us any moment now. It's been saying that.
Is it like raining there? Like, is it bad?
Not that I can hear, but I've got the headphones in. And whoa, that's loud.
Sorry, that's my phone ringing.
Yeah, so we're supposed to be in the middle of, like, right now, I don't believe it's even raining.
Oh wow! So it's not even raining there.
No, not yet.
That's funny.
Man. For anybody who's listening on SoundCloud, yeah, it says, it's supposed to start raining in about 20 minutes. So yeah, we're supposed to be getting the rain starting here pretty soon. For anybody out there in Florida, if you're in the Panhandle, get away. Just drive north.
Go away, Panhandle.
Go away, Panhandle. Drive north or drive west. Just get away from the Panhandle, because we are already in a state of emergency here in Florida, and nothing's happened yet. So obviously they're expecting it to be bad. I'm thinking that we should do a live call-in show for the election.
Oh, that's definitely a time that we have call-ins.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's definitely a time that we should have call-ins.
All right. Well, for anybody watching, it appears as though my co-host is outside.
I'm outside.
It appears as though he's outside, quickly losing his Wi-Fi.
I am. Oh, am I losing? Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Hold on.
A little.
Hold on.
So.
Is that better?
A little bit. But
okay.
I mean, we've been going for
because I'm using.
Are you using the 4G?
Yeah, I'm using 4G now. Is that better?
Yeah, it is. But I mean, we've been going for like an hour 45 already, so we could probably call this one. And I'm going to make the decision on whether or not we're going to put this on SoundCloud.
Okay. Okay. So, guys, thank you for joining us today at the Muddy Waters of Freedom. Be sure to tune in Thursday for the Writer's Block.
Yes. Caleb Franz will be in studio for the Writer's Block.
She has to go.
And I will not be having my episode on Wednesday, but we'll be having another. I already have my guest. Lou Sander will be my guest next Wednesday, and we will be back to regular normalness. And but thank you for joining us again. And where we're going,
we don't need roads.
Sound. Ain't got time to snooze, I put my feet on the ground and I head to the shower, then I avoid the mirror. There's a man who lives inside there who just points out all my fears, like, is this who you wanna be? I wanna be. There's gotta be a better me than the one in front of me. I got big ideas, I got big dreams, I got a big head, thick skin and passion bursting at the seams. Been working 9 to 5 just to make ends meet. Then I'm rapping 6 to 2 just so that I can breathe. I do what I gotta do to get back up in this bullshit. I should try to sleep before I rinse and repeat. I've got some big ideas. I've got some sweet dreams in my heart. I've got so much love I don't want to start. I don't to start. I've got some big ideas. I've got some sweet dreams in my heart. I've got so much for love. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. Back home, flip on the TV. Short nap for a long day's work. Be up early tomorrow, and I will get this shit done for sure. I've got some big ideas. I've got some sweet dreams in my heart. I've got so much for love. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start.